This is one of the important cardiac remedy, especially for rheumatic heart disease. This is not cactus, this is not digitalis, this is not spigelia. This is an important remedy for sun headache, people who get headache whenever they go out in the sun. This is not natrum carb, this is not natromure, this is not glonine, this is not lachesis. Even though this is a cardiac remedy, but it has got predominantly right-sided remedy. This is not lycopodium, this is not apis mellifica, this is not sanguinaria. Marked pain with numbness, the pain with tingling sensation. This is not chamomilla, this is not platina. The person will have a complaint whenever he looks downwards, or the pain is descending downwards. This is not bryonia, this is not bovista. This is an excellent remedy for post-herpetic neuralgia. This is not spigelia, this is not sanguinaria. This is one of the greatest contribution of Dr. Herring. This is not again lachesis, this is not glonine, this is not apis. This is a drug belongs to the family called Ericaceae, and this is Kalmia Latifolia. Kalmia Latifolia. This is one of the very important remedy for cardiac cases, for rheumatic diseases. This is an acute remedy. The name Kalmia is derived in honor of a Swedish botanist called Peter Kalm, Kalm. On his honoring, the name is given Kalmia for his contribution in the field of botany. Latifolia, the word latifolia means big leaves, and hence the common names is a broad-leaved Kalmia. It's also called as calico bush, which means a evergreen shrub having glossy leaves and white or rose-colored flowers. That's why it's called calico bush. It's also called as mountain laurel, which is very commonly called mountain laurel. The name itself is a self-explanatory, as this plant grows in high altitude, mountain areas. Laurel because it is evergreen, one which doesn't lose its leaves. It's also called as a spoonwood because Native Americans used to make their spoons from this plant. It is also called as an American laurel, as this plant is a native of America. Another common name for this plant is lambkill. Sheep being particularly prone to poisoning, and hence the name lambkill. It is not only poisonous to sheep, but it is also poisonous to many other animals and even to the human beings. It is also commonly called as ivy bush, as people used to consume this plant extract to commit suicide. These are the various common names and why they have given these names. This drug belongs to the family called Ericaceae. We have few other drugs from the Ericaceae family: ledum, rhododendron, Gaultheria, Chimaphila. So all this drug has got something very characteristic. If you see ledum, rhododendron, Gaultheria, all these remedies are for the gouty diseases, for the rheumatic diseases. These drugs from this family, Ericaceae. Habitat, this is a native of North America. Parts used: tincture of the fresh leaves are used when the plant is in the flowering. Mother tincture is prepared from the fresh leaves. It has been proved by, again, one of the greatest dare physician or dare doctor in homeopathy, who has prepared most of the poisonous remedies, Dr. Herring. His contributions like snake venom, lachesis, apis mellifica, glonine, all those poisonous substances proved on himself. Later on, other doctors like Dr. J. Buchner, and clinical observation is by Dr. Oki. This is in short about the introduction about the Kalmia Latifolia. Why the name Kalmia? Why the name Latifolia? Why it is called calico bush? And why it is called mountain laurel? These are the few introduction about Kalmia latifolia. In this slide, you can see a beautiful picture of Kalmia latifolia flowers. Kalmia latifolia is an evergreen, beautiful shrub growing to the height of 3 to 9 meter tall. It has a large flower which is round, looks like an inverted umbrella, ranging from light pink to white in color. And you can see that flowers occurs in clusters, occurs in groups. And it is an evergreen plant, and hence it's called as a laurel, mountain laurel, as this plant found in the mountain areas. It's also called as an American laurel, as this is a plant native of America. It blooms in the month of May and June. All the parts of the plants are poisonous, especially poisonous to sheep, and it is called as a lamb kill. This plant is naturally found on rocky slopes and mountain and forest areas. This plant was originally brought to Europe as an ornamental plant during the 18th century. It is still widely grows for its attractive flowers in most of the gardens. In this slide, you can see a mountain laurel where it is like a bush with clusters of flowers. Highly poisonous plant. Mountain laurel is the state flower of Connecticut and Pennsylvania. They honored this plant by giving them it as a state flower of Pennsylvania and Connecticut. History of Kalmia latifolia. Here we can see 3 images of Peter Kalm, Carl Linnaeus and Dr. Constantine Hering. Kalmia latifolia was named after the Swedish botanist called Peter Kalm. During the mid-18th century, Linnaeus, the Swedish botanist and the founder of the Linnean system in botany, had a pupil named Peter Kalm, who was not only a noted botanist, but he had travelled in his country and wrote a book about it. History is silent as to which one of this achievement entitled him to everything fame. But the fact remains that Linnaeus named this plant after his pupil who had brought him a specimen from this country. Because he don't know what to name this particular plant, so he named Peter Kalm's name as Kalmia. And this plant has been proved by Dr. Constantine Hering. He is proved on himself and later on his friends. And that is how the history of Kalmia latifolia goes. Here you can see a beautiful clustered flowers of Kalmia latifolia. How much ever beautiful it looks, but it is highly poisonous. Especially poisonous to animals like horses, goats, cattle. It has got highly neurotoxins in this. It is also poisonous to human beings also if you consume in a large quantity. Traditionally, Kalmia latifolia leaves are being applied over the rheumatic area by traditional Americans in olden times. The leaf extract has been also used as an analgesia, as in a painkiller. These are the few of the traditional uses of Kalmia latifolia. Sphere of action of Kalmia latifolia. It has got mainly action on the spinal nerves. It has got action on the eyes. It has got action on the face. Especially it is a right-sided remedy. It has got action on the heart. It has got action on the circulation. It has got action on the joints. It has got special affinity to the deltoid muscle. It has got action on the skin. It has got action on the head, chest and arms. It's a rheumatic remedy. In a small doses, it accelerates the heart's action. In larger, it moderates it greatly. It has alkaloids like granotoxin. It is a type of neurotoxin. And it also has got an alkaloid called arbutin. Symptoms of toxicity begins to appear around 6 hours following the ingestion. Suppose somebody consumes the Kalmia Latifolia, within 6 hours the poisonous symptoms will appear. Initially they will have a irregular or difficulty in breathing, then they will have anorexia, then they will develop profuse salivation, repeated swallowings, then they will develop watering from the eyes and nose, then they will have a cardiac distress, then there will be having incoordination of the movements, vomiting, weakness, and progress to convulsions, paralysis, coma, and eventually death. This is how the pathophysiological action of Kalmia latifolia when somebody consumes in a large dose. Regarding the adaptability of Kalmia, this is a remedy specially adapted to the rheumatic disposition individual who always gets some or the other joint complaints, adapted to the people who have a neuralgias, adapted to the people who will get a gouty complaints like our urticourins, like our lycopodium, like our restox, adapted to the people who develop cardiac complication as a result of rheumatism, disposed to the people who develop nephritis and albuminuria. These are the adaptability of Kalmia latifolia. We will see some of the keynote indication of Kalmia latifolia. The first and most important keynote indication of Kalmia latifolia is regarding the cardiac diseases. It's an excellent heart remedy. Especially the heart diseases have developed from rheumatism or heart disease and rheumatic complaints alternates. Initially a person may get various joint complaints, then progressing to the heart. Remedies like abrotanum. Some of the most clinical conditions like rheumatic heart diseases, we have few remedies like ledampal, naja, spigelia or metallicum. So you need to differentiate all those remedies. Second indication of Kalmia latifolia is regarding the pains. Various pains, maybe of joint pain, maybe of cardiac pain. The pain is sharp, sticking, darting and pressing type of pain. More than that, the pain is always downward directions, a descending pain. Initially the pain may be in the shoulder, then it comes to the elbow, then it comes to the wrist, then it comes to the hip, then it comes to the knees, then it comes to the ankle. So most of the pains are downward directions like our cactus. We have some other remedies where the pains are growing ascending. Start from the sole, then comes to the ankle, then comes to the popliteal fossa, then comes to the hip. We have a remedy called ledum. Here the pain is, most of the pains are descending type of pain, the downward direction type of pain, which is darting and pressing type of pain. The pain again attended or succeeded by numbness. Pain with numbness of the affected parts. Maybe it may be of rheumatic diseases, it may be of angina, it may be of sciatica, where the pain with numbness. We have few other excellent remedy for the pain with numbness, remedies like aconite, remedies like chamomilla, one of the homeopathic painkiller remedy, platina. So we need to differentiate aconite, chamomilla, platina based on the other constitutional features. Remember, the pain which is descending, the pain is downward directions, pain with numbness or pain with tingling. One more keynote indication of Kalmia is regarding the sun headache. The headache which begins with sunrise and decreases with sunset. I am sure many of the homeopaths are so prejudiced. Whenever there is a sun headache, people are used to think remedies like natrum muriaticum or glonine or natrum carb or lacases. But we should think even Kalmia is one of the most important remedy for sun headache. The headache with severe stitching type of pain, especially over the right eye and orbit. Regarding the left eye and left orbit, we have spigelia. Here the right eye and right orbit is Kalmia. There is a stiffness of the muscles with the headache, which is aggravation whenever the person is turning the eyes, which begins and with sunrise and decreases with the sunset. We need to differentiate natrum mur, glonine, lacases, natrum carb, sanguinaria, stramonium, gelsemium, cactus, ferrum phos, belladonna, and also carboanimalis. The differentiating point in Kalmia is pain always associated with numbness. Again, headache is more of descending type of headache. So these are the 2 points are the concomitant to differentiate from natrum mur, glonine and other sun headache remedies. Here the headache, especially right-sided, headache with numbness, headache increases and decreases with the sunlight, and headache is a descending type of headache. Another key point of Kalmia latifolia is regarding the rheumatism. Especially rheumatism of right deltoid muscles. The pain which is intense, changing place suddenly. The pain shift from one place to another place, like our pulsatilla, like our magnesium pause. The pain going from joint to joint, especially descending order. The joint is hot, red, swollen, and worse by least movement, like our bryonia, like our belladonna. Kalmia latifolia is also used in the treatment of vertigo. We have many drugs for the vertigo, but indication of Kalmia is vertigo when stooping or vertigo while looking downwards, like our most commonly remedies like borax, like spigelia. We have opposite of that is vertigo while looking upwards. We have commonly used remedies like silesia, pulsatilla. We'll see some of the other remedies for vertigo. We have conium, vertigo while turning the head, especially towards the left side. Colocynth is again a remedy for vertigo while turning on the left side. We have some remedies like vertigo while opening the eyes, like tabacum, lacases. We have another remedies vertigo while closing the eyes, like pteridine, thuja. We have another remedy vertigo from the strong smell, that is naxomic. So like that remedies are many in our clinical practice, but Kalmia vertigo especially while looking downwards or vertigo while stooping. You need to differentiate spigelia and borax. Kalmia is also important remedy where the slow pulse with cardiac diseases. The pulse is so feeble, like our gelsemium, muriatic acid, which is hardly palpable. Sometimes the pulse rate may be as low as 35 to 40 per minute. Severe bradycardia. We have a remedy called carbovage in the end stages of diseases where the pulse is so feeble and we are unable to palpate it. Here in Kalmia, the pulse is slow, feeble with cardiac diseases. Slow pulse with a pale face and cold extremities, that is the extra concomitant symptoms to differentiate from other remedies. Kalmia is also very important remedy for neuralgia. Maybe of facial neuralgia, maybe of post-herpetic neuralgia, especially on the right side of the body. Practically, it has been used in post-herpetic neuralgia. We need to differentiate mesarium. We need to differentiate ranunculus bulbosa. We have another remedy for pre-herpetic neuralgia, that is spigelia. Kalmia latifolia is also used in the management of angina pectoris, where the person will have almost all the common symptoms of angina, a sharp pain at the region of the heart which is shooting downwards, like the pain from the heart shooting to the abdomen. The pain is so severe, darting type of pain associated with numbness, with weak pulse, with severe breathing difficulties. These are the few concomitants. We need to differentiate other remedies like amyl nitrosum, cactus, and latrodectus mectans. They are the few other remedies for angina. Here, angina with almost all the common symptoms where the pain is shooting downwards, where pain is shooting from the chest to the abdomen. Another indication of Kalmia latifolia is regarding with the heart complaints, the person is unable to lie on the left side. He'll get severe palpitation and person is unable to lie on the left side. These are the few of the keynote indications of Kalmia latifolia. We'll see what are the elements from aggravation and ameliorations of Kalmia latifolia. Elements from exposure to cold, like our aconite, element from cold wind, element from sunlight, like many of the remedies we said, like natrum mur, natrum carb, glonine, element from rheumatism, like abrotanum, ledum, urticurans, element from gout, like benzoic acid, colchicum, rustox, elements during pregnancy, elements after herpes zoster, element from suppressed eruptions. These are the few etiology of Kalmia latifolia. Regarding the general aggravation and amelioration, aggravation by lying on the left side, aggravation by leaning forward, aggravation by looking downwards, aggravation by sunrise to sunset, aggravation by becoming cold, aggravation night on going to bed. Regarding the amelioration by eating, like our anacardium, like our iodum, like our lycopodium. Amelioration also by cloudy weather, like our causticum. Amelioration by continuous movement, like our rustox. These are the few of the elements from aggravation and ameliorations of Kalmia latifolia. We'll see in detail about cardiac complaints of Kalmia latifolia. Elements from mainly after rheumatism, element from exposure to cold, also element from suppression of eruptions. There's a severe chest pain, there's a fluttering of the heart with severe palpitation, there is a great anxiety, person find difficult to breathe, with a tendency for fainting, with severe dyspnea. The cardiac pain which is descending downwards. From the chest, the pain is radiating down to the abdomen, to the extremities. There's a severe stitching type of pain over the chest. with severe palpitation, especially while going to the bed. The full of trembling all over the body. Person is unable to lie on the left side, aggravation by lying on the left side, aggravation by leaning forward, only amelioration by lying on the back. With the heart diseases, the pulse is so slow, feeble pulse, very weak pulse, which is hardly palpable. With this cardiac diseases, the extremities are very cold. The pulse rate may be sometime 35, sometime 40. And pulse is also irregular, like our digitalis, episanum. Here the cardiac diseases develop as a result of gout and rheumatic complaints, or rheumatic metastasis to the heart. We have clinical conditions like rheumatic heart diseases or rheumatic endocarditis, where the hypertrophy of the heart walls. Clinically, it has been said is a remedy for tobacco heart, angina pectoris, with almost all the common features, with descending type of pain, the pain with numbness, a shooting and stabbing type of pain. The pain radiates to the shoulder blades, where the shifting type of pain. So these are the indication of Kalmia latifolia in heart diseases. Regarding the joint complaints or rheumatic complaints of Kalmia, especially right-sided remedy, and pain is a descending type of pain, the pain from the neck, which is descending downwards to the arm, to the hip, to the knee and the extremities. The pain in the shoulder blades, excellent remedy for rheumatism of right deltoid muscles. There is a paroxysms of pain in the right arm with descending downwards pain. The affected joints are swollen, which is red, which is very hot. The extremities are very stiff, and the pain is rapidly shifting from one joint to the another joint, especially descending type of pain. The pain associated with numbness, the pain associated with tingling. Person is unable to walk. The ankles are swollen, which is again shifting type of pain. This is in short about rheumatic complaints of Kalmia latifolia. In this slide, we can see summary of Kalmia latifolia. On the left hand side, we have the family or natural order called Ericaceae. We have other remedies like ledampal or rhododendron. On the right hand side, we have the various common names like calico bush, mountain laurel, spoonwood, ivy bush, lambkill. In the center of this slide, we have the sphere of action, the more affinity of this drug, that is the spinal nerves, eyes, face, right hand side, heart, circulation, joints, deltoid muscles, skin, head, chest, arms. So on again we have various expression, various arrows. One is that rheumatism alternates with heart complaints. Second, we have the pains, which is sticking, darting, pressing, shooting, especially downward directions with numbness. Then we have another symptom is the sun headache, where the headache begins and decreases with sun. Another, we have the rheumatism, where the pain which so intense and which changes places suddenly from place to place, like our pulsatilla. And we have another symptoms, vertigo, when stooping or looking downwards. In the middle, we have one more very core of this Kalmia latifolia is very slow pulse, kind of bradycardia. Then we have the bottom symptom is a neuralgia. Neuralgia can be a facial neuralgia or post-herpetic neuralgia. This is in summary of Kalmia latifolia.